Hello guys, Lid here. So this is day 5 update for the Reliquarian Fire Mage, and we got bunch of changes and a lot of upgrade, and now we have a really good amount of DPS, and we get even more tankier and we even faster on the crit speed. On the DPS department, we now going crit, and there is a tag that allow you to reach a crit cap with pretty small amount of investment, and that is by using Nadir mode, Apex mode, Intensify, and Over Intensify. And combining these four will allow you to get the overload intensity stack reliably, and each of these will give you base crit chance and critical strike multi. And if you still need more crit, you can still add critical strike support, which also give you another base crit chance. This tech is really good if you are using a spell that have a low base crit chance. For example, like the one I'm using right now is Reap. It's only have 6%, and a lot of fire spell also only have 5% base crit chance. So this tech allow us to go crit cap without any of the conditionals. For example, like I'm not using Assassin Mark because I'm kinda tight on socket, and I also do not need to use Diamond Flush. So it's pretty consistent. And going crit basically allow us to scale the DPS even further, especially with Reap. And this is the reason why I choose Reap as a skill. Number one, I really like the skill. I think the Reap is looking cool. The same with Poe1. As long as they're viable, I usually always come back to this skill. And the reason why Reap is good, because Reap can give you a ridiculous amount of single target DPS if you combine them with Greater Spell Cascade. And what Greater Spell Cascade do for Reap is allow it to overlap up to 4 times, and basically you can hit the same target 4 times. And that's how you get 170 million DPS with Reap. And for the defense department, I'm using Reliquarian Patience, the Endurance Charges type, and these boots have a really cool interaction with Ardent Anguish. Because Ardent Anguish is a build that we used before and we are still using it. It's going to convert your Endurance Charges into Brutal Charges, which allow you to do triple damage. But if you use Reliquarian Impatience with it, you also get the Endurance Charges, because the wording on the Reliquarian Impatience is you count as having maximum number of endurance charges, even though you actually don't have any endurance charges. So we have 6 maximum endurance charges, so that gives us 24% damage reductions, which is really strong for this build. Especially we already shift a lot of the damage into the fire damage, and they're already getting reduced by the 90% resistance. So any form of DR on this build is really strong. And because we are using Reap, now we don't really have to care about mana regen as much. We only have to care about life regens, because Reap only costs life. And this allows us to focus on just to get life regens, and right now we have 900 to 1000 life regen per second, and that is after the RF. And then we also have around 800 to 900 leech. This is not an insane amount of recovery, but this is a pretty good amount for now. And speaking of RF, I changed the normal RF into the Mana RF, which is Righteous Fire of Arcane Devotions. Righteous Fire gives you 40% more spell damage, and Mana RF gives you 25% more cast speed. Normal RF is more DPS, because that 40% more spell damage is really strong. But at this point, we already have shed a lot of them, so I decided to go for the Mana RF. Getting more cast speed means everything becomes a lot more fluid. You can react faster, and we can frostblink faster, which means we can clear a lot faster. And this is one of the things that you cannot see on the PoP, but it's definitely going to feel when you play the build. And Mana RF burn you based on your mana, and we have very little mana, so the RF end up doing very little damage to us, and that basically allow us to preserve most of our life regen. And like I said before, scaling more cast speed allow us to frostblink faster, and that is what you see on the screen. That makes the clips a lot faster too. And the next step is probably, if you want to take it a little bit further, is to scale more AoE, and that basically allow the frostblink to hit a lot more target, and that's what makes us clear a lot faster compared than before. So that basically is the TLDR of the entire setup. So now let's go to the detail. The first upgrade that I do is on the glove. This is a conversion glove. If you can get the fracture physical damage convert to fire, that's going to make your life a lot easier, because now you only need to do the suffixes, which basically you use Essence of Spite to get the intelligence, and then you're looking for life regen or high tier resistance. In this case, I have tier 2 fire resistance. And for the prefix itself, you're basically just using the Eldritch Chaos, Eldritch Assaulted, and Eldritch Annul to get the maximum life. Or you can also use the Lead Mechanic Crafting to get the T1 life, and then you craft damage while leeching. And for the implicit, because you already get 35% from the fracture, you only need 15%, which means you only need the Greater Ichor, which make things a lot cheaper. And for the other implicit, you just want the unnerved enemies, because that's going to make them take 10% increased spell damage. And the second upgrade is the amulet. This amulet is really strong, soft blood, and you want the Foulborn variant, which gives you physical damage from hit taken as fire. This is really strong because We have Cloak of Flame, discomfort 40%, and then we have Dawnbreaker, discomfort 25%, that's already 65. And with this one, we basically now add 79%. And with Perfect Roll, you reach 80% out of physical damage taken as fire damage, and that's really, really strong in terms of defense. And this amulet also gives you life, and it also helps you penetrate fire resistance because you still can penetrate more than 20%. You just need another source of it, and you also going to cover enemy in ash when they hit you, and it also gives you a fatal fire, which means we also save 1 point from this. So this amulet is really, really good for this build. And the next upgrade is Relentless Impatience. As I mentioned before, a combination between Relentless Impatience and Anguish. This is really, really strong. Because Anguish gives you a lot of fire resistance, a lot of life. This is a really, really good build. So Relentless Impatience allow you to still have the maximum number of endurance charges, and it also gives you Corrupted Blood immunity, meaning you don't have to have this kind of jewel. I have one like this. This is quite expensive, and it also gives you some chaos resistance, which is what we need on this build. So Relentless Impatience is really, really strong in terms of like defense. You can also go for rare boot like this, with a life regen, life, fire, chaos resistance. This is going to give you more life and also more fire resistance and also more regen. But Relentless Impatience, that 24% damage reductions, is really, really strong for defense. And the next upgrade is the ring, and I'm looking for the fracture 16% to all element resistance, and then I use the deafening essence of Zeal. It's going to give me cast speed, and I'm looking for T1 any resistance because you can swap the resistance, and then I will annul everything off until you only have the cast speed and resistance mod. And after that, you can do the craft 3 modifier here, and then you craft suffix cannot be changed. And then you basically go to your hot ticket stations, and then you reforge life, and you pray that you get T1 or T2 life. In my case, I got T2, so it's pretty lucky. This is pretty expensive to do. In my first try, I got 9 maximum life, so I have to redo it again. And the second try, I got the tier 2. For me, this is good enough for now. Ideally, you want T1, of course, but for me right now, this is good enough. And the next upgrade is the chest. I go for the corruption on the chest, and the +2 level of socket and AoE gem is really, really strong for this build. And this is because your Rip has AoE tag, your Intensify, your Greater Spell Echo, and also your Greater Spell Cascade. 3 of them also have AoE tag, and all of them going to get +2 level from these corruptions. And for the second corruption, I go for the you take 15% reduced extra damage from critical strike. You don't really need this, but having this is really, really nice because one thing that are dangerous for this build is really, really big hit. And usually in mapping, they're coming from crit. So having this kind of mod is really, really strong. And you can also get more of them from Tattoo. I get 4 of them here. So this is extra 20% because each of them give you 5. And for the rest of the 30%, we can go for this node. Over here, this is going to give you another 30%. Or we can go for the Armor Mastery. You can also get another 30% here. So when you reach 100% reduced extra damage from critical strike, you basically crit immune. The second corruption is nice to have, but it's not mandatory. And that's basically the gear update. And for the passive tree, it changed quite a bit. We are using thread of up here, and then we basically open another second cluster here because we need the socket for the Apex mode and also Nadir mode. And this is really strong because every time you cast your spell, you're going to have Intensify. Because of the Nadir mode, you're going to lose the Intensify, and offer Intensify every time you lose your intensity, you're going to have the overall intensity stack. So that's basically how we generate the overall intensity stack. As long as you cast one in a while, this is going to keep generating and keep going up. So in terms of like if you want to go something like invitation bossing, you can cast these 3 first and let this ramp up to 3, and then you can do everything else, and then you can begin with your encounter. Also, another trick, you can also take off your Arcanist Brand and put the Desecrate and Volatile Death on your shortcut. So you basically can cast this before you do any of the invitations, because waiting for the Arcanist Brand to give you your Phantasmal, it can be quite a while. So you can always do this yourself manually before the invitation start, and that's going to give you a head start. And then this thread of over here allow us to take a lot of good note. So this one, Retributions, Holy Dominion here is also really strong. It gives you elemental resistance, also elemental damage. And this one doesn't really do anything. I just take this one because this is inside the cluster of the Little Pride. And in Little Pride, as I explained in my previous video, you can get something like physical damage extra fire, which is really strong for this build. And this one also gives physical damage extra fire, and you can also get double damage, and you can also get something like physical damage. You can also get fire rest, something like that. So this is just about how you can find a good timeless jewel, which is for now, this is not the best one, but the supply of the Little Pride seems pretty slow. We still don't have that much supply yet, so we still have to wait for that. But for now, this combinations trade-off up here, and Little Pride here is pretty strong for DPS. And it's also allow us to take the life node here, the life node here, and also this one gives you Dex Intelligence, which you're going to need, and give you 5% movement speed. Moving faster is always nice. We can get the +2 elemental resistance here, which is nice too. And we can also get the Ash, Frost, and Storms, this 30% elemental damage, which is pretty good. And this Thread of Hope with Massive Ring is really cheap, so you shouldn't have a problem getting this Thread of Hope. And then I basically take off the entire section here, so we can extend this one on the bottom, because I want more Endurance Charges. It's going to give you more defense and offense because of the Unanguished and Relaxed Impatience. And then I also take this open node because I need another extra jewel socket to kind of fit the Thread of Hope. So this is basically the passive tree, what it looks like right now. And there's one thing that I want to mention, which is I forget about it when I make this setup. But for the next 4 points, this is what I will going to take. And this is this cluster over here. This is a Staff Mastery. And this cluster gives you area of effect. So this is 12%, 15%, and then 3% per power charges. We have 3, so it's 9%. And it also gives you some spell block. And if you block spell, you get power charges, which is not really useful for us because we are not scaling block. But on the Staff Mastery, there is one master that they give you 12% increased maximum life and mana if you equip Staff, have Red and Blue socket, which is really good for survivability. It's going to push the life up to 4,500, something like that. And speaking of block, you can also go for block. There is a block not near here, so like this one, this one, this one, this one, and there is also block on this cluster over here. And the last thing is this one. I craft this one and I actually get pretty lucky. This one have all the right mod. So you want increased effect, you want maximum life, you want fire resistance, and you want all elemental resistance. This is really, really strong. And lit from editing here, I forgot about this one entirely. So this is a new jewel that I'm using, which is Rational Doctrine. And what this jewel do, if your strength is the highest attribute, you're going to create a consecrated ground. And if your intelligence is your highest attribute, you're going to create profane ground. You can get the benefit of both of this if your highest intelligence is the same amount. So for example, it's like my strength and my intelligence is the highest attribute. So I basically have the consecrated ground, and I also can create the profane ground on critical strike. And the profane ground, it's really, really important because that is also the one that's going to give you crit. So this jewel is really, really strong, but it requires you to balance out your strength and intelligence. There is intelligence here, there is strength here. Usually I will play around with the implicit strength here. And also I will play around with the crafted mod Dex and Intelligence here to get the same amount. And that is the reason why I do not tattoo everything, because I need to match these two numbers. And also 224 is like the minimum I could go. So this is the new jewel I'm using, really strong, but once again, you need to balance out your strength and intelligence. So I think that's it for the update. And the next question is probably like, what after this? Well, there is a lot of things you can upgrade with this build. The problem is, every upgrade that you do after this will cost you 100 and 100 of divine. For example, Mage Blood is the obvious upgrade, right? We can go Mage Blood, and then we can have more fire resistance, more crit, more move faster, and all that stuff. But the reason why I'm not including Mage Blood in this setup, even though I call it high budget, because this entire setup is cheaper than Mage Blood. So it's kind of ridiculous to put the Mage Blood in here. And I really try to be cost efficient here. And after this, if you want to go for Mage Blood, you can. Like we can go for Mage Blood, and then we can go for the Forbidden Jewel. That is a Forbidden Jewel Unleashed Potential. It's going to give you a +1 max charges to all of the charges, like Power, Frenzy, and Endurance. And it's going to give you a lot of duration too. So most of the time you always have your charges, even on the like the bosses or something like that. But that Forbidden Jewel, for whatever reason, this leaf is really, really expensive, and the supply is very, very small. So there's only a few handle of them, and they cost like 90 to 100 divine. So that's also another reason why I do not include them here, because it's nice to have them, but it's not really necessary. And the other thing that I can think of is also like getting voices, so you can change the cluster into voices so you get more jewel socket. And another thing you can also do is adding the medium cluster that give you area of effect. You can get quite a lot of AoE that way, and that's going to make the clears even better than this one. But like I said before, that kind of upgrade is going to cost you a lot of divine, except for the minimum cluster. The minimum cluster is probably not that expensive, but everything else will be quite expensive. So that will be the next upgrade, which is going to take a while because I have to farm for the Mage Blood. And the next video probably will be about currency making, because by the time I release this video, I think we are pretty close to the week 1 patch, and hopefully the week 1 patch is good so we can farm a piece again, because I like the abyss. The abyss I think is cool. It's very fun to play, it's just it doesn't drop anything, so it kind of feels bad to do it. So if they buff Abyss and Abyss is actually good, then we have a toy to play, so facilitate that. So yeah, I think that's it from me today. And as usual, if you guys have any questions, just leave in the comment below, I will try my best to answer it. And thank you everyone for watching, I really appreciate it, and I will see you on the next one.